Welcome back to coverage of the Innistrad Championship. Thank you very much for tuning in and hanging out with us as we try and determine our top 8. We're going to jump into our next feature match, and it is going to be Levy versus Sam Rolph. It's Mono Red Madness versus Jeskai Creativity. Now, we haven't seen Mono Red Madness yet, Cedric. Tell me why this deck is so cool.
Well, it's Mono Red in a format where a lot of people don't think about Mono Red first and foremost, but this Madness strategy with Blazing Root Wall of Faithless Looting, it's a really good, one could argue the best Dragon Rage Chandler deck. It also makes use of some cards that we just haven't seen really get used in a long time. One of them is Bomat Courier, which is an incredibly powerful Magic card that doesn't really have a home in Historic. And I think this is probably the best home for it. So this deck, you know, Mana Gorger Phoenix is another card that if it comes up, we'll talk about that one, of course. But these red cards are powerful. This is maybe the best Faithless Looting deck in the format. And it's a weird one, but I'm really glad that Raph is playing it.
Yeah, I am too. When I saw this deck, I was like, hey, wait a minute, that's actually really cool, because it's been a hot minute since Mono Red's been good, right? You know, I'm just thinking the days of Embercleave and what's that guy's name? Anax, and yeah, so
and this is
flashbacks.
This is like really non-traditional Mono Red now too. This kind of it's a little wonky. It has a lot of game actions, a lot of triggers. There's a lot going on with it, and it's pretty darn powerful. So
well, let's get things underway here. So from Raph's side of things, let's get Sam Rolph dead as quick as possible. And Sam Rolph, he's got some stuff going on there. He's got the hard evidence. He has the Indomitable Creativity. So now just needs to find those red sources to be able to really close this game out as quick as possible.
Yeah, it's just some more lands and some more red sources to be able to do kind of his 1-2 punch with Indomitable Creativity. Rolph is a player who, look, I know Levy may be the bigger name here, but Sam Rolph, a Magic Online grinder, if you will, he's really, really darn good. Like, really good. Someone I run into on Magic Online a lot, have run into in Arena Opens, and he's a heck of a Magic player who is a name we are going to know and be saying a lot, I think, in the next couple of years.
I agree with you there. He's certainly had a very impressive run up to this championship, and he's going to continue doing so if he plays the way he does. Here we're going to see Dragon's Rage Chandler dealt with by the Prismari command. Nice 2-for-1 here, getting rid of the DRC as well as the Bomat Courier, which is an artifact, of course.
Yeah, there's a lot to like here for this start for Rolph. He's got that 0-3 to kind of gum things up. It's also something to sacrifice to Indomitable Creativity. Now, Prismari Command, just kind of a traditional 2-for-1 with this incredibly powerful card. So it's a really good start for Rolph, and his hand is good. That's the other thing. The rest of his hand is still plenty fine and sitting at a very nice and comfortable 19 life.
Now, do you sack or don't you here if you are Levy?
I don't think I sack. It's worth thinking about. His hand's not great, but I think you're okay just kind of just sitting steady. I mean, if I'm Raph, I don't feel good about the game, you know.
It's not going the way he'd want.
I'm brick-walled on the ground. My opponent has 4 cards in hand sitting at 19. That maybe my 2 best cards just got killed, so I'm not thrilled.
Yeah. Seasoned Pyromancer, though, is a nice follow-up here, being able to put the Phoenix of Ash into the graveyard, as well as the Mana Gorge Phoenix, if he wants to go that route. Just try and go wide against this deck. So let's see what he picks here as his second card. It will certainly be the Phoenix of Ash. Is it going to be land number 2, though, for this turn? Nope. We're going to send back both birds, make 2 little elementals, finds a Den of the Bugbear, and a Bomat Courier.
Rolph could have got He could have got a little bit more aggressive with that Prismari command by making a treasure and then kind of ramping it up, you know, into creativity. But given the fact that he's sitting at such a comfortable life total, has control over the battlefield, has a good hand, I'm in favor of just I'll just kill both of your things, keep moseying along that way. I'm not in a rush. You know, if you had more pressure about a battlefield, maybe I go the treasure route with the Prismari command. But for right now, I'm kind of just sitting pretty.
Yeah, he's not certainly in any rush, being at a healthy 19. Not that much pressure being mounted here on Raph's side of the battlefield. Does also have those Fire Prophecies to take care of a couple of things. So Sam Rolph is looking good. And before attacks, even before they can do anything, Fire Prophecy is going to target one of these creatures, can sack in response to prevent the card from being drawn if there's anything that Sam Rolph wants to put back in the library.
Yeah, but unbeknownst to Raph, Sam already has it all.
Yeah, he's fine. He's got it right now if he wants to.
Yeah, it all in this instance is just
no,
indomitable
wait.
creativity, perhaps, right?
Yeah, he needs another land, though, to do for 2.
For 2, sure.
But it's still fine. He's got time.
And I'm glad that's the perfect word, right? Is he's got time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big of a rush. Faithless looting the draw here for Raphael, less than ideal, I would say. But yeah, I would say that Sam just has plenty of time sitting at 16.
Yep. Sarah's Emissary in hand, but there are 3 in the library, so won't be too sad to see that one drawn. Just hopes to not find another one. Does have the Fire Prophecy to put something back if he needs to. But Levy's just gonna keep smacking. Here comes Phoenix of Ash. That's gonna hit the battlefield. Mana Gorge of Phoenix gets a counter on it for each spell cost. It'll pop out of the graveyard eventually, but I don't think we're gonna get to that point, if I'm honest.
Thinking of what Emissary is going to name here, I guess let me think really quickly. You see a block. I'm curious if you draw an Emissary here, is it scary or not? Because you can only creativity for one of them. Okay, didn't draw it. Not the end of the world. Yeah, so he's fine. It's what is it? It's probably creature and instant, if I had to guess. If you
so.
Creativity for 2.
Because I'm not seeing anything in the main deck for Raph that gets the creature dead or the game won. Pillar of Flame would be the only thing that could deal face damage if he names creature and instant.
Perhaps that's the calculus right now for Sam. He's just thinking, how do I lose this game if I creativity for 2? What weird thing has to happen? What do I have to name? I think it's the most straightforward of plays. It's creativity for 2 here. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's time.
Okay.
Sam Rolph gonna sacrifice the little itty bitty 0/3 crab. It's gonna transcend and become an angel.
Heavily advantaged, as Indomitable Creativity is going to be placed on the stack here in just a moment. I mean, there's a... Yeah.
Now, there are a couple outs. There is Chandra, Torch of Defiance, who can deal 2, but the clock is ticking now with 14 power on the battlefield.
Yeah, these emissaries have a way of closing the game quickly and the ability to cast the 3rd one next turn.
Now, the one advantage Raph does have is he has a bit of time with this Phoenix of Ash on the battlefield, just being able to get in the way of one of these angels. No, not even, because they've got protection, so no. Ignore that. Yep. They're just going to swing right on through.
Uh-huh. The only thing I'm trying to think of right now is, like, Stomp via Bone Crusher Giant. Does that work itself into the equation in some sort of weird way? You can Bone Crusher your own creature, right? I mean, if you really want to get a little out there, I'm checking. I don't
think that would work.
I'm checking Bone Crusher Giant really quick. So Stomp.
No, it'll hit you in the face.
So damage can't be. So it's the damage prevention that matters, right?
Yeah.
So it's damage can't be prevented. Yeah, can't be prevented this turn. So all right, that's through the side door, dog door, back door. But it's a way to win if it comes up. So.
Well, let's go digging, huh?
Let's say for the Twitch chat, for the memes, is that what they say?
For the lulz? I don't know.
For the lulz, for the memes, for the clips.
Let's see what we find here. Fire Prophecy is going to target the Bomat Courier in response to the Seasoned Pyromancer. It's 2 cards. You can take a look-ski. It's quite happy to let that go, though. Fire Prophecy will send back Sarah's Emissary. It doesn't. Okay, it'll hang out in hand. There's a Dragon's Rage Channeler. So we're still digging. Don't know if he's going to find it in time, though. Oh, man.
Well, that's the out. Bone Crusher Giant targeting... I think self or like one of your own creatures or whatever it is. Just whatever you can do. It's Stomp to turn on the no damage prevention. That's it.
Oh gosh, here comes the third one.
maybe that's it then. Maybe no more.
So many angels, goodness gracious. Let's go to game number 2 here and see what we can bring in from the sideboard to help Raph Levy, the Hall of Famer, up against Sam Rolph.
Let's see. For Raph's side of things, So you're in a kind of a weird spot. Let's see. You have to end the game pretty much as quickly as possible while still getting yourself out to Sarah Emissary as best you can. Ferocidon seems like it'd be a decent card in this matchup. Maybe not at its absolute best. Chain Whirler, definitely not. A Braid, I gotta believe it's not. Let's see, what does a Braid kill? So it kills the O3. It can kill
an artifact.
It can kill an artifact that's creativity away. Okay, so I guess it's worth it just for that. Soul Guide Lantern doesn't seem great. Yeah, okay. Hazaret, pretty powerful, just in like a general sense. And then the other Chandra, I mean, it's just pretty powerful when you're playing against a control deck. So I can rationalize bringing those cards in. For Rolf's side, pretty easy game 1 win there.
Yeah. Just had it all from the get-go. He was just kind of playing with his food, I guess.
Rest in Peace seems fine-ish. Gust seems good against a red deck. I'll take a raise anytime you guys want to give it to me. Pretty straightforward sideboarding for both people, I think.
Yeah.
I do think advantage Rolph, though. I think this matchup's good for him.
Yeah.
Raph's clock isn't that fast.
It's not the typical red deck where you just burn, win, right?
Yeah. It's not the fastest of red decks. The thing that's nice about this mono red Madness deck is that it's like resilient and sees a lot of cards.
Yeah.
So it can kind of keep playing a very, very long game, which is nice in specific matchups and formats.
Yeah.
This is a match where you kind of have to get the game over with very, very, very quickly. So that means the kind of draw that Raph is going to need to see, he's going to have a lot of 1-drops to begin. Courier, DRC, looting in the Root Wallas. I think it's got to look like that for him to be able to get a game here in this matchup.
Let's have a look at the hands, see what we find. Faithless Looting to start, not too shabby. Doesn't like it though, it's going to send it back. There's a couple Revenant Ruins with Bomat Couriers, so that'll be kept. And there's that Bonecrusher Giant you mentioned. Maybe this game is his turn to shine.
This is better, I think.
On the other side of things, Expressive Iteration, the powerful 2-mana sorcery, as well as Prismaric Command, but that Anger of Gods, things are going to be dying in this game for sure.
Yeah, but some value along the way, which is actually pretty nice. You know, these Anger of the Gods can clean some things up, of course, but Bomat Courier has the potential to draw a lot of cards here this game, so...
Yeah. No early interaction for them. So just going to play a land tapped, pass the turn back. There's a mountain off the top of the library for Levy. It is kind of funny when you think about it. This deck does have many ways to deal damage. You know, looking at Ramanap Runes, you got your sorceries, your instants, you have the Planeswalker that deals damage. Creatures, of course.
Yeah, there's no shortage. That's what I really like about this deck. I played this deck in Historic a couple of months ago. The thing that really impressed me about it is it can just keep going and going and going. You know, you have Chandra, you've got Bomat Courier, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Faithless Looting, which we all know is incredibly powerful. So you can just keep going with this deck. It's just, you see right now, right? It's dealing 2 points of damage every turn, so it's not the fastest of clocks.
Yeah. Turn will be passed back here. We may see something similar with Prismaric Command killing a creature as well as an artifact to take care of both of these on the battlefield.
Hey there, little Root Walla. Hey, buddy.
He's quite a cute little lizard, isn't he?
I like that card.
Nice.
Okay, so now a free Root Walla, the best kind.
Uh-huh.
Now stack it. You get these cards too. So 5 cards coming. 3. Let's take a look here first. This happens.
Oh yeah, I'll cast that for free, thanks.
And now discard your hand. Get those. Okay, great. Discarding your hand's part of the cost. Yeah, you just get 5 new cards.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I remember why that card was so powerful in Standard.
Yeah. Not only did you get 5 new cards, but you rebuilt your battlefield. Yeah, even though it's gonna die. It's gonna die.
Yeah.
But like, you were feeling good about having rebuilt your battlefield. Yeah, you were feeling good.
Oh no. Bonecrusher Giant and a Braid in hand here now for Levy, who needs to try and rebuild something, get something going. Because if there is creativity in hand for Sam Rolph. That's going to be bad news bears. We know there's not, but he could find one. Very,
it's
very
not
soon.
it's not there right now, but this is very reminiscent of what game number 1 looked like. And so far as for Rolph, he's just kind of chilling, right? He's got a lot of life, he's got a lot of cards in hand, a lot of ways to interact. So he's not in a rush to do much of anything. Even if he draws creativity this turn, who's to say he even goes for it? Because he doesn't really need to yet, you know? Just kind of sitting pretty.
Yeah. Perhaps just deciding whether or not he wants to fire off the stomp, or if he wants to get the creature down here in the Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, he's trying to cast that. I don't think he realizes he's still in attacks.
Oh,
There
okay.
we go.
There we go. I've been there, Raph. It's all right. We're both what are we, boomers? Is that what it is?
I guess. I don't know.
Boomers.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Well,
that's not great.
Well, you know.
Well, darn. The world is Sam Rolph's oyster at the moment. It's going to Unexpected Windfall, get some treasures, get a couple new cards, and pass the turn back.
Like I had mentioned last turn, I'm not surprised to see Sam not cast creativity. He ain't in a rush.
Nah.
He's sitting pretty. 15 life, got a blocker, got an interactive hand. Can play creativity next turn for a clean 2, and your opponent's tapped out, so...
Just a Braden hand here for Ref Levy. Sam Rolph, very much advantaged at this point, finds land number 5. So could go for 3 things if he really wanted to. Just get all 3 angels out.
It's pretty adorable.
Terrifying.
I'm like pretty here for it. Sam's here for it.
Terrifying in a biblical sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going for it. Boom, boom, boom. 3 Sarah's emissaries on the battlefield. Creature, sorcery, instant, whatever the heck you want to name. Seems pretty darn good for you right now. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this game's kind of over.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, just a little
You
bit.
think so? But how sure are you?
Quite, now that the concede button has been hit. And Sam Rolph picks up a clean 2-0 against Raph Levy, so his winning ways continue.